Hey there. So my next guest has built an incredible company in just a couple of years, about 5 years or so. He went from making 80,000 to over 40 million. And all he's doing is allowing people to play a video game or video games against each other. And he's meeting them in the middle and taking a little bit. And it's the most brilliant business model. He has some fantastic advice for you. I know you guys are going to love this one. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Gamerpreneur podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Bradford Carlton. Today, I have a very special guest with us. I have Majeed. Hey there, Asiad. How's it going?
It's going very good. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Absolutely. You as well. All right. So, Asiad, I'd like to get this show started getting just right into it. So why don't you go ahead and begin by just telling us a little bit about yourself, please?
My name is Majeed. I'm the CEO and founder of Yamzu. We are an esports platform where everyone from the community can start their own tournaments. And I've been doing this for the last 4-5 years. And before that, I spent some time in the military, traveling all over the world, enjoying life as much as I can.
I'm not sure most people equate being in the military and enjoying life in the same sentence.
Well, if you like torturing yourself and crazy challenge, you always remember the best bits. You always remember the best bits.
I'm sure. I work with a lot of veterans here in the United States, so I hear lots of stories about their experience. I kind of understand a little bit.
Yes. I had a funny story with a friend a while back. He said, do you remember when we were walking and it was somewhere and we made these jokes? We put our sweaters all over our shoulders, this fashionable thing. And it was a joke. And yeah, I remember. And we were doing this fashion walk in the middle of nowhere at 2:00 at night. There wasn't a human being for the next 100 kilometers. He said, yeah, and we laughed so much. He said, you also remember that we had not eaten for 2 days and we were starving? I said, no, I forgot that. You always remember the good moments. That's how it is.
Absolutely. By the way, where do you hail from, Asiad?
I hail from Iraq. I came to Sweden when I was 12 years old, and I've been here since then for over 30 years.
Beautiful. It's a little chilly up there, though, right now, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Like I said it before, the winter has come. Maybe it never leaves, but it's for sure here.
I moved to the desert just to be able to avoid all the cold.
Yeah.
All right, so
wonderful too.
Asiad, I try to start the show with a single question. We've kind of bantered a little bit, but I'm going to ask you just like I ask everybody else. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being high, how weird are you?
Oh my God. I honestly think it's 12. I have really bizarre things from telling jokes to, I don't know, enjoying movies or sitting and listening to meditation, which is not a weird thing. Don't get me wrong. I am all over the place. I think I'm a cheerful, crazy person with lots of enthusiastic person with lots of crazy ideas. And I would say 12. I would like to believe I am 12, real adventurous. Maybe I'm like a team.
Okay, I have to ask because I get people. I ask that question to every single guest, and I get these high numbers, above and outside of the scale I'm asking, and the things that people tell me are pretty normal. Like you meditate. What's wrong with meditating? Like that's something that happens. Like you're just a genuine happy guy. What's wrong with that? Like why is that weird?
I think weird. I see it as a positive thing. It's not the norm, and that's something that I really like. And it's also, I don't know, there is no definition for weird, but it's some people, they like the stereotype of video gamers, not in Sweden but in other places, oh, you're a video gamer, yeah, you're in good shape. Yeah, it's a hobby. It's like listening to music. It doesn't define who you are. And it's always fun to meet all kinds of people, and I could watch the most obscure weird movies that I've never heard about and just laugh my ass off. And I see it as a positive sign, not as an odd thing. I think that's why I see myself as a 12.
All right, I love it. That's a fantastic answer. Okay, Asiad, this is the Gamerpreneur podcast, so I do need your gaming cred. When did you first start playing video games?
Oh, that was a long time ago. I started playing with Sega 8 bits. My friends bought Nintendo, and Super Mario didn't sound cool to me, so I got a Sega 8-bit, and I've been playing since then, more or all. more on or off, depending, changing consoles to PC, depending where I am in life. But I've always played video games. It's fun. It's my time, my activity, and especially when I grew up where TV was dictated in a certain way and you didn't have YouTube or anything at that time. It's just nice hanging out with your friends, having time for yourself, just playing solo game or playing co-op, just a fun activity.
Okay, so
And I enjoy it.
Asiad, I know you're married, and maybe after our interview, I'll have to ask you, how do you get your alone time while being married? Because my wife is like sitting right here next to me the whole time.
It's funny that you ask because I play co-op PlayStation games with my wife, and her definition of games is a little bit different from mine. so, so she likes co-op, couch co-op, nothing on PC, and it can't be any first-person shooters or anything. So she played Horizon Zero Dawn. She liked that, but Uncharted, 2 minutes. This game sucks. Like, my love, just give it a chance. God of War, oh my God, this sucks. And Journey, which is a fantastic, this is beautiful, but it's boring.
Okay, to each their own.
Of course, it's a little bit different to play, but it's fun. Honestly, not only my wife, every woman I know in Sweden and even internationally play video games in some capacity. Some might play on the Wii with the controls. My sister, she plays with her kids. This on the PlayStation Move. Other people play Counter-Strike, and so everyone plays video games. It have always been around. It's just like now the mainstream is discovering it, and it's not like it's an underground thing. There are millions and millions of people that plays it. But
around the world, 2.5 billion. So I mean,
yes,
that's huge. What are you playing today, if anything?
I am still playing God of War. It is so good, so good. It's unbelievable. All the cutscenes, the combat, the way they've done it. Every time they keep improving and improving that game. It's so awesome. And I play a little bit of Counter-Strike with the friends and the team.
It's a fantastic game. I actually quote Kratos nearly every day to my wife and daughter. Don't be sorry, be better.
Yeah, the guy, he also have this amazing voice. I don't remember the name of the voice actor, but he's also in movies. So like, boy, come here. It's like,
I love it. Okay, you've kind of had the gamut of a lot of different games out there. Sega 8-bit was a long time ago. What would you say is your favorite game of all time?
I think it's one that's related to these wonderful memories, and that's Metal Gear Solid that I played, the first one on PlayStation that I played with my brother. He was sitting next to me, and he watched this entire game, and he thought it was really cool with the cutscenes and everything. And also one more game that I played with my brother, and I think that's when he got his interest. He still works as a senior level designer at Right. He's a very accomplished artist. He have like 500,000 followers on social media and everything. And I remember when he played Unreal 1, it was so different on PC and it was so cool, but we still had a sucky PC, so we could not play full screen. But for him, as a small child, that was an incredible achievement to play. And we were sitting and playing it, and he was learning keyboard and mouse shooting. So all these memories with my brother, they are really fantastic.
Right. I mean, that was like uncharted territory way back in the day, having to learn how the keyboard mouse together. Like no one really did that before. And then, that was really kind of the beginning of the esports space as well.
Yes, yes. They started with Quake and Counter-Strike, and it was competitive back then, before the big money came in. But still, people were competing. Like I saw an interview with Astralis. They've been competing since Counter-Strike came, like most of them and the coaches. So it's nothing new. Um, yeah, I think it's the memories that I relate with my friends and my wife also. We have a lots of fun. We laugh like crazy because she's very competitive, and it's always fun. It was funny. Like a week ago, she team killed all of us in the team. I said, "My love, take it easy." Oh no, you guys, you all of you suck. Like, but you shot us. No, no, you suck. You should not be in my line of fire. So these are the memories that I associate with video games. Is these wonderful experiences that are spread through a spectrum of different games and experiences and genres over the years.
I love it. All right, let's talk about Yamzu. What is Yamzu?
Yamzu is an esports platform where people could create their own competitions and compete against other people. And that sounds very simple, but to my knowledge, no one has done it. Unfortunately, the esports team, we have amazing live events. They are fantastic. I'm not getting away from that. But this has bred an industry that create funnels for the live events, because you have the superstars, they come to the arenas, you get the views, and it's always nicer to watch superstar play Counter-Strike than me. It's always nice to watch Messi play soccer instead of me. And that's what it have turned into. So everything have been created as a funnel for the live events. And when we looked at it in 2015, like, this is really bizarre, because this is not like Twitter or Instagram, where you have these superstars that are celebrities that go there. This is a grassroots movement that is online. It have always been online before esport became such a big phenomenon. So why doesn't we give the community the freedom to create their own events and tournaments? So we started the platform. Anyone can log in. We are phasing out League of Legends. We have Counter-Strike. That's our bread and butter. And Dota is being tested behind closed doors. And people go in, they create their own events, they play against their friends, and they compete. And we discovered something over the years why no one else is doing that. It's because, this is my hypothesis, it takes away from the value of the big events. I will explain a little bit more. Let's take a look at the Avengers or a new Star Wars movie. You get the superstars, you get the actors, the special effects, you create the movie, and people go there, they buy the merchandise, they see the movie and everything. But if they would release it on YouTube, it would drown in the noise of everything else that's released. So it has no value. And these big live event teams and companies, they cater for that value of these events, because if everyone could create tournaments on their platform, there wouldn't be any value in their competition. So they're like, have become good at that and completely neglected the remaining community.
Okay. And what's your role at Yamzu?
I am an everything do guy. From the start, I was testing everything when Christian was programming. Right now, I am managing the company. And I think probably my most important role is learning how to take it to the next step. And this is something that I did not expect when I started. I thought like I would be managing it. I know my skills, but there are so many new things that are out of my area of expertise. How do we package it to investors? How do we make it palatable for people who doesn't understand video games? How do we do the PR for the non-gamers, not for our community? And these are new skills that I've been acquiring over the last few months, or trying to improve as much as I can. And that changed my job a little bit, but it's also fun and challenging.
Very cool. And was this kind of an easy transition? Like, what would you do before you got to Yamzu?
Well, I was working in the armed forces for a few years. Then before that, I was in Costa Rica, and I came back and worked with sales. I managed sales team in Costa Rica. I worked with that in Sweden. It was boring. The military is always fun because you can run fast, run as fast as you can, and the camaraderie is unbelievable. And that's when I talked with my friend Matthias, and we were talking about this esport thing, because he played very actively Counter-Strike. And that bred the idea, and we started developing. Now, I take it back. Christian, my co-founder, developed everything. I just like pointed him like, can you move this square up and down? And he was like the guy behind everything. And that's where I am. I'm a gamer, and I saw there was a need in that. But of course, I have some background in economics, common sense that comes with age. And I could actually make an idea that moved forward. And I wouldn't have done the same thing if I was 20. Then I would people just gonna knock on our door and give us big bags of money. That's my philosophy, I think, back then.
I really wish.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so then how is business going? How's Yamzu doing?
It's going good. We started the first year, we started really small. We had obviously traction, because who wouldn't want to play with their friends? We had 80,000 in revenue the first year, 2016. Then we had 260,000 euros in revenue the year after that. Then 1.4 million in 2019. We did $10 million or euros. And this year we are about to do $40 million US in revenue, which is astonishing considering that we've been bootstrapped since day one.
You 40 million with people playing
Yes.
Counter-Strike? Like, are there enough people on the planet to do that?
Yes, there are. Here's the caveat that we discovered. If I charge you for something, and it's a one-way charge, like you buy a subscription, you pay to become a Prime user so you can qualify for the big event, or you buy skins, or you buy these microtransactions. There is nothing for you coming back more than the experience. And you might hold back on your money, you might not want to do. But if I tell you it will cost you $1, I'm going to make this simple and use the video example. It will cost you $1 to use YouTube, and whatever we're going to get from advertisement in YouTube is going to go back to you. It's a completely different incentive. Then you would be creating videos like crazy. Forget how much YouTube is paying you, just the example. And here's the thing, like, you can compete for cash, you set a registration fee, and then you can win money. And that's a completely different story. This is not some ladder where you have to beat champions. You said if you want to play with your friend, you play with your friend. You want to play with randoms, you play with randoms. And that's why people play so frequently, because it's a fair game. They dictate the terms, and they can play several games a day for cash. And that is a very unique value proposition. Most of the other sites out there, you pay subscription and you get points or badges or whatever it is, and you might qualify for the big league. And those people who subscribe for it, it's a small demographic. But the people who would love to compete against their friends and dictate the terms for cash, that's almost everyone. Like, I would play against you in Counter-Strike if I knew I had a fair chance, but I wouldn't pay $10 to enter a tournament where I don't know I'm going to be playing.
Okay. And so then how does Yamzu makes its money on that?
Well, we take part of the registration fee for facilitating the service and so on.
Okay. Wonderful. So then you are processing a lot of players and a lot of tournaments in that case, if you're able to make 40 million.
Yes, we do plus 10,000 events are created every day by our community and played.
That's incredible. Wow. Like, you must be like the go-to source for Counter-Strike then.
No, we're still not a household name, but the people who use it, they get it. Like, it is so funny. When we started, like, I've seen everything is automated. You don't need to download the UI. And you know how it is as a PC user, an app user. Oh, I need to download an app. Screw that. And you don't want to do that. So you log in, you play, you connect your Steam account. That's it. You're done. And the fact that it's very Swedish. How do I say that? Like, very IKEA and Volvo. You can log in, you can play, you can click, you can see everything. Once you're going to join a game, you register. We don't hassle you into registering, So people say, oh, this is for me? Cool, I can play. Or your friend says, like, I'm going to play with you in Yamzu, go and register, add your Steam account, you're done. That's it, like, literally. And that's a completely different story from other places where you need to subscribe, pay something, and you can't choose your opponents either. So we have a very active community that play. Of course, we have forbid everyone that's under 18 to play for cash, but everyone above that is allowed to play. And it's that fairness thing, You log in, you can choose who you're going to play with. It takes people 5 seconds to understand it. When we uploaded our tutorial videos, no one watched them. They just got it right away. Like, it's crazy.
Okay, cool. Now kind of more about you. It takes kind of a special person to be able to take a business from, 80,000 your first year to like 4 years later do 40 million. What is special about you to be able to guide this company like this? Like, do you have any unique skills, or do you turn to any unique resources to do that?
There are experience, age. I have good people that I listen to, and I would like to believe that I am mature in the head. However, I think my strongest quality is really, I don't know how to quit. Like, some people say that metaphorically, but there are some times when, in the beginning, when we have this insane traction, we have the superior technology, and we see some companies that use a screenshot to update the results, and we do everything automated. I mean, can you see the discrepancy? It's so huge. And still they get tremendous amounts of money, and they can staff up, and we're working our fingers to the bone, and we're grinding. And you just like, oh my God, come on. Like, I told Christian, like, can we just quit? Like really, I just want to cry, just want to quit, and that's it. And then you scream, you go to the gym, just punch, these sacks, or just run until you feel the taste of blood in your mouth, and just come back and just, all right, let's do this. And just keep at it. And it's not about being stubborn, because stubborn sometimes it can be stupid. You can't break a wall with your fists. It's also about achieving results, and that I think have given us the strength. Like if we would have started an idea and we have not gone to market, and we would have hoped like everything going to be fine, and you will not have the stamina. But the fact that we had small success moving forward, I can see it for myself. Our technology is good compared to others. It gives that little bit of energy, and I think that's the reason we haven't quit. And also, it's easier to cheer up the team than to cheer yourself up. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? And we have actually a secret sauce, and this comes from the military. It's you've seen Private Ryan. For all the sensitive viewers, this might be a little bit harsh. So just a disclaimer. And you've seen when they run, when they land in Normandy and they keep running against machine guns. And the strongest instincts that we have as a human being is a survival instinct. And they completely ignore that. You ignore your genetics and you run to your death. And people don't do that because of religion or something like that, or belief in your country. They do that because they do not want to disappoint the group. What the group think about you is more important than anything else. I would rather die for my friend than they think I'm a coward. And that's how it works. You can see that also in sports teams. You can see that definitely in any profession where you need a uniform, like policemen, firemen, and definitely in the military. And that culture, I knew from the beginning, from what I've seen in the military, from the people that mentored me there, my friends and everything, we need to cultivate that in the company.
Okay.
And it is a very unique culture because you don't want to disappoint the group, so you always do your best. But it needs a balance. You cannot do that out of fear. You need to do it out of inspiration. So it takes its toll on me to lift up the group, because when I'm weak, I need them to lift me up. Does this make sense?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Okay.
And
Go ahead.
Please, shall I continue?
Oh, please. Yes.
And a good way to do that, like something for the entrepreneurs, it's before you start with your team, do something with your team. Do something out of the ordinary. All right. Don't go out, have beers one evening or watch a movie. That's like you would get along with anyone. Do something challenging so you see where the pain points are. Go on a hike, sleep in tent, go on a 1 week trip. So you get to see if you get along, if you can cultivate that environment where everyone lifts each other. Maybe they don't match you. Maybe you don't match them. Maybe there's something wrong with you. Maybe you're too stubborn. So do these little things so you can figure out if you can work as a team before you need to work as a team. I believe that is also one of the reasons for success. We worked it out way before we started. I mean, definitely, for example, Matthias, who helped me a lot along the way. And my God, we served together, like not abroad, but in the military. So we know each other. There are moments when we just scream at each other, just explode over something ridiculous, but we have passed these boundaries where, all right, I got you back, you got my back. It's not even a question about that. And these things are very important to cultivate a culture where there is no fear. I don't want to ramble on too much, but use these core principles. Don't fear failure, strive for success, be willing to lift your team, and trust that the team is going to carry you if it's needed. That's Absolutely. It. If you do that, you've come very far.
Brilliant. It actually is a major pain point for many businesses, that cultural issue, because a lot of, at least as I see here in the States, it's very Machiavellian. Either you let them love you or they hate you, and there's not really a cross between the two. But let's move on. You've been in business roughly 5 to 6 years now. You said you started in 2015, so roughly 5 to 6 years. If you could go back in time and you could talk to little Asyad and you're like, hey, little Asyad, here's everything that's about to happen to you over the next 5 years. But here's the one thing you absolutely have to know about Yamzu. What is it?
Oh my God. It's not going to go as fast as you think. And people that doesn't understand this will not like you as much as you hope. And surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. You have so much to learn.
Brilliant. All right. And do you have any other advice? I mean, here's the thing, like your business is now a big business. 40 million is a lot of money to be making in 1 year, but you started out as a small business. So you've kind of progressed through all of the different stages that a business would go through, at least so far. What advice do you have for the new entrepreneur, for the person kind of in the middle and kind of here at the, toward the upper ends?
Uh, I think there are a few advice that I could give. First of all, um, triple what you think you need and assume that you're going to get 1/3 of what you're trying to achieve. So if you think this thing going to cost you $1,000, it's going to cost you 3 times as much. It's going to cost you 3,000. If you think you're going to make $1 million, no, you're going to make 300,000. Always do that. And also, when you work with people and entrepreneurs, we are worse than parents. I mean, you've seen parents, they buy all kinds of things to protect their kids from, I don't know, dragons and tigers. And it's just like, but we entrepreneurs are even worse. So when people try to help us, there's a saying in Sweden, like, eat it with hair and bones. Like, no, check what it is before you do that. And all the experts that are trying to help you, with certain exceptions, for example, if they're a lawyer, like they're a lawyer, they're licensed, they know the law, don't question it, listen to them. Other than that, qualify them. This is very important. If someone trying to help you, they're an investor finder, whatever it is, ask for references. Because ask for good and bad references. I always ask for 3 good and 3 bad. 3 bad to see why it didn't work out. If they don't have 3 bad, then there's something off. If they don't have 3 good, then they're completely new, so you don't care about them. So always ask for 3 good and 3 bad references, whoever are going to help you, and you get to talk to these people, see what the experience is. That's something you don't think about, right?
I was going to say, I'm actually sitting here, like I've been a business coach for almost 6 years now. And I can't think of any bad clients I've had or anything that didn't work out. So like, uh-oh.
Well, that is very unique. What I mean, like if someone says, we're gonna help you with social media marketing. Awesome. Give me 6 clients. 6 clients where you didn't achieve the results that you hoped for, 3 clients that you didn't, and 3 clients that you achieved the results that you hoped for. And I could talk with them. It's confidential under NDA. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. There is no such a thing. Lawyers are under NDA. Marketing, contacts, they're not. Like, don't buy into that. And also use your money smartly. All right. Like the world is a flat place, especially if you're in video games or if it is in tech. Don't do what's easy just because you feel familiar with that person. A lawyer in Sweden that lives next to me is not better at international employment law than someone else that lives at another country. Go after people's expertise. Like one of our team members, she is a 17-year-old artist that plays Counter-Strike with us, and she does amazing work. I wouldn't go looking for a 17-year-old artist, but I've looked at her work and we play and just, you can do this? Awesome, do it for us. So use your resources smart. Use sites such as Upwork or Fiverr to do things so you don't have to overpay. Like a logotype shouldn't be that expensive at the beginning. Copyright, find someone who is skilled that you can outsource to. Use all these little details. Don't be in a bubble. Like you don't look for customers that are just near you. You look for customers globally, right? So why would you look for a team that's only near you? Look for people globally. These are the advices that I would give to everyone.
Beautiful. Okay, now Asya, let's pull back a little bit and talk about you a little more personally if we can. You see, I believe that we learn the most from our failures in our life rather than our successes, because your success, you may not know what happened. You may just have stumbled into like succeeding, right? But your failure, you probably know what went wrong and you can grow from it. You can learn from it. So I'd like to ask you, what do you consider your biggest failure in life and what did you learn from it?
Oh my God. I think there was one failure. I was actually thinking about this thing, but there was one. We finished the university, and we started a business. We rented an office. We thought, of course, customers, 90 days, we're going to be paying for the office ourselves, like not a problem. And we were very optimistic and didn't work out. And that was a punch in the face. Like, all right, maybe we suck at this. And it opened my eyes. It was a paradigm shift for me. because now I thought like, okay, I have to talk to people who maybe have done this thing before. And I believe that defined a lot of how I think. And also, can I give another example?
Please, yeah.
When you start a business, you know this, it's very hard the first few years. Like it is so hard. And I remember when we started Yamzu, the times were so bad sometimes because everything we had, we put it into the company. Everything we make, we still invest it in marketing. So our community keep growing. Like we don't drive Ferraris or anything like that. And we'll not do it in the foreseeable future. And there were some times where it was so hard when some of us had to take personal loans to give to the other people so they could actually eat. And I remember a while back when things started turning around and I was on a trip and I was going to order something. And I just like, for the first time since I started Yamzu, I didn't care. Like, I'm not a big spender, but like, I don't care. Like, I'm going to order what I want. And I called my co-founder and he said, yeah, I also reflected over it. Like, we are not, putting out fires. We are not starving anymore. And I think that was a moment when I thought, we will never go back to that moment when we were starving at the beginning, when we were so optimistic. Like, that was such a defining moment in business. Use our heads, never go crazy, keep the path. And I think that's something that still resonates with me because I talked with the team like a while back, like, so what are you going to get for Christmas? Like, I don't know. I'm happy. I'm not missing anything. And like 3 years ago, oh my God, it was like, oh my God, how are we going to survive this Christmas? And that is that failure when you start and you're eagerly optimistic and things don't work out. That's not something that I'll never forget, and we will never go back to it, no matter what.
So, okay, I just have a quick question then. So if you're not going to be that optimistic person anymore, does that mean you're now pessimistic?
Well, I call myself, I'm a realistic pessimist.
Okay, is that how you're surviving? Is like that the trick that you just don't think anything's going to work and don't trust anybody?
Well, it is such a hard balance, and you don't want to lose your passion. And I always try to keep it up. But at the same time, there is the fear at the back of your head, like what happens if something would happen, even though it's not rational, it's emotional. And how do you deal with that? And I always try to fall back to numbers and run things with team members that have different perspective than me and smarter than me in different way. Like I talked to Par, who's a numbers guy, who knows auditing and books like no one else, and he sees it a different way. Christian sees it a different way. So like, guys, this idea. Am I insane here? Like, no, this is cool. This is doable. We can do this. All right, cool. And like, are things bad? No, they're not bad. You just like being careful. And you need that balance. I had a conversation with one of the guys in the team, and I was looking at mechanical keyboards. And this is one of those, like, I don't want to spend the company's money. This is a keyboard, like, it's not expensive, right? Mm-hmm. And I want a good mechanical keyboard, like a small one. And I was comparing for like a week or two. And I talked to Patty, said, yeah, what's the price difference between the keyboard? It's like $10. I said, all right, how much time have you spent on it? Like a week? Do you think your company can afford $10? I said, yes. Do you think your time in the company is worth more than $10? I said, oh my God, you're right. Screw it. I'm ordering the ones I want. And that's the way, like use these reference points where you anchor yourself, because I always want to be hungry, but after having rough periods, you know how it is when you run business, it's always at the back of your head. You know how it is to have a hard time.
Oh yes, my wife treats our family like a business because we've been in business so long together. I'm like, come on, like it's a $10 more on the keyboard, please. Right. Trying to build my computer was a pain, I'll tell you. Okay, kind of related to the last question, but what is something you're working to improve on yourself today?
I'm actually trying to work on my insight and perspective in things, because you don't know what you do not know. So I am trying to figure out areas where I am lacking so I can improve a little bit. I don't believe in that, like you should be good at things that you're bad at. There are so many things that I'm bad at, like it would take a lifetime. I wouldn't even scratch the surface. I focus on what I'm good at, but I try to find areas where I like the insight. And I try to do that as often as I can, and also finding a balance in life. Like, it's not all work, it's not all running. Like, enjoy it. Don't work too late. Like, there are these set hours. I put away my cell phone. I look at emails once a day. And that's also very important. Finding the balance and see where I'm lacking so I could maybe improve a little bit.
Okay. But that's today. When you were first starting, would you be able to say that? Like, would that have even been an option that you're like, oh, I'll take off at, 7 o'clock at night?
No, God, no, absolutely not. And I don't think it's because the company needed you, it's because you didn't know how to allocate your time at the right way. And this is also an advice for entrepreneurs: work smart, don't work hard. Like, the best example I had from my mentors, like, how much can you charge per hour if you're working? Like $1,000? All right, let's say $100,000. So even if you charge $100,000 in a month, you wouldn't make as much as Bill Gates, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right.
Yep.
So it's not about hard work, it's about smart work. Good. So when you're starting as an entrepreneur, use your time smartly, and don't work because you think you have to work. Like, don't let the anxiety come over you. That is stupid. I've done it. Everyone has done it. Work, do what needs to be done. That is very important. It's like when you train, you can train an hour. If you train 4 hours, you will not get better. You will burn yourself out. You will not improve. This is a marathon. So work smartly. And we didn't know that. My next business, if we start another one, it's going to be a completely different ball game. Just work smartly, portion the hours, and don't do like anxiety work, like I have to work. No. Work smart. Because same with you, like when you're the entrepreneur, you're at the top. There's no one above you. No one can inspire you. No one can give you ideas. So you need to ration yourself.
Absolutely. Okay. One more kind of fun question before we start bringing this in for a landing.
Yeah.
What is something that you think that people misunderstand about you the first time they meet you?
I think people confuse me being funny and hilarious with the fact that I am serious and can actually, I would like to believe, smarter than I give the impression to be.
All
And
right.
I think it's because we goof around and we joke a lot. So people might think, oh, maybe he's a buffoon or a clown, but I'm not.
See, here I am. Like I'm a lot like you, Asya. Like you and I have talked a bit, before this interview, and like I think we resonate a lot. I've always just thought it was because people thought I was young, but apparently, no, it's not. It's just the
No,
personality
but
type, I guess.
you're the most cheerful lawyer that I've talked to. Like, you're
I'm not an
always
attorney anymore.
happy.
I'm not allowed.
Oh,
I'm not allowed to
I'm
represent
sorry. The
myself.
most
Yeah.
doctor-in-law, like in the legal field, that have expertise in it. You're incredibly cheerful and not so formal. And we have a perception of how people are. And I think people sometimes misunderstand because the body language says a lot. And I go around goofing around, making jokes and everything. And you should hear us when we do Counter Strike. And our artist, like after we played with each other for a long time, but she said, and that was really funny. I said, "You run a business?" Yes, I do, because she only heard me goofing around. And then when I talked, she said, "Yeah, you are very serious." Yes, I am. Like, that's a different personality, and but you need to enjoy life. Like, just be yourself. If people, you can only be yourself. You can't cater to everyone.
Absolutely. And
And
just make sure HR is not involved in those conversations when you're playing CS.
absolutely. I think also it's when you work internationally, uh, sometimes when you speak with people that are native, that are English is their native language, the expressions might sound a little bit odd for them. And but I use this trick, and of course, after everyone who's going to watch this video, it's not going to be a trick anymore. Like, if my English is not good, and that happens, is because I speak Swedish, English, Arabic every day. Every day. So I speak these three languages every day. And I also speak Spanish, but I don't use that every day. And I understand Norwegian because it's close to Swedish. I understand a little bit of Italian. I'm trying to learn Danish from Morten. So when people like, "No, I see you express yourself weirdly," yeah, it's because I speak all these languages. Oh, okay, that's cool. Like,
Yeah.
the brain mixes things sometimes.
And there's
And
nothing wrong with that.
yeah,
All
well, we
right.
have like everyone in the team is like that, like 3, 4 languages.
Fantastic. All right, Ozia, this has been a fantastic interview. How do people find you? How do they find Yamzu? How do they reach out to you? Social media, emails, all that, please.
Our website is www.yamzu.com. Is Yankee Alpha Mike Zulu Utah.com. We are on Instagram, lol_Yamzu. And if you want to play Counter-Strike, just go on the site, register. We have lots of pressure on our servers, but you'll get a spot as soon as there's one open. And please give us feedback. You can find me on LinkedIn. And if you think we are doing something in a sucky way, I would love to hear how we can improve. And if we do something in a good way, just give us a thumbs up and like us.
Beautiful. All right. Now, as we wrap up, do you have any final thoughts you want to share, or anything I didn't ask you think we still need to cover?
Entrepreneurs, learn from other entrepreneurs. You will get more information from them than any industry expert. And because they are on the same journey as you are, and they are more willing to help you than anyone else. So just learn from the people that are on the same path as you. That's the final thing I would like to say.
Beautiful. All right. Asya, thank you so much for coming on with us today. We genuinely do appreciate this.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And for everybody else, I'm going to remind you all, don't be just a gamer, be a gamerpreneur.